Travis Wayne Goodsell. One of the signs in the latter days is that the hearts of men shall wax cold. Wax meaning grow. And we've definitely seen that in the news with other people, not ourselves, right, Mormons? In the Book of Mormon, it's called being past feeling, when you have allowed yourself to grow so cold in your heart that you are beyond redemption. And it's found in Ephesians first. Let's see. We'll start in verse 17 of Ephesians chapter 4. This I say therefore, and testify in the Lord, that ye henceforth walk not as other Gentiles walk, in the vanity of their mind. Because we are living in a material world, having the understanding darkened, being alienated from the life of God through the ignorance that is in them, because of the blindness of their heart, who, being past feeling, have given themselves over to lasciviousness, to work all uncleanness with greediness. But ye have not so learned Christ, as truth is in Jesus, or Joshua. Therefore, that ye put off concerning the former conversation the old man, which is corrupt, according to the deceitful lusts. And so, yeah, you get the point there. And so, obviously, we understand it from Nephi, talking about his brothers. Ye were past feeling, that you could not feel his words. And it has nothing to do with, oh yeah, we gotta have a spiritual witness. Yeah. No. There's a big difference. Because when you look at Alma chapter 32, starting in verse 28, which is our doctrinal process for faith leading to a testimony, thus seed turns into fruit. And if you don't understand how words are fulfilled in the flesh, dear God, go clean your room. I feel you, Mom. No, go clean your room. I understand. I feel you. You have to clean the room. I will go. I will do the things the Lord commands. Because if you just claim you're feeling it, it's worthless. And so, with Laman and Lemuel, they weren't even feeling it. My room? Whatever. All I wanted was a Pepsi. Sanitarium. Institutionalized for heaven. But, so many songs going through my head now. But Laman and Lemuel, according to the story, you know, they were mama's boys, and yet they saw an angel, and they heard the voice of the Spirit. Remember, voice, still small voice. That used to be what was the Spirit in my day and age. Now it's the still small feeling. But yeah, it's Mormonism is changing, and that's how it happens. When you change the doctrine, when you change definitions, when you justify not following the prophets by saying you're following the prophets with your mis and dis interpretations. You take yourselves down a path of a darkened mind and a blind heart, because you start justifying your actions as being from God. You start saying that, well, I'm doing this for the church. You know, Travis is evil. I got to stop him. And so I'm going to send him a death threat, and we'll see how that goes. And when he bans me, I'll keep sending him death threats after death threats. And YouTube's on my side, so I know I can get away with it. And I'll put thumbs down, because that'll slow his views down. And I will murder my neighbor who stops going to church, who has to lay me off because of coronavirus. That happened. And I don't understand all of the pedophilia rapes. I don't get those. I don't know how a Mormon can go so far down this wrong path to justify that. There's just been too many of them. I mean, this year alone, the Deseret News was on a tear. Just sexual predator behavior after sexual predator behavior. I mean, even the elderly man here in Utah who went to Turkey to buy a wife and then brought her back to Utah, and then she didn't want to have sex with him, and so it's just sickening. You know, the BYU rapists, bishop rapists. The one bishop was a cop. Oh, I'm doing this to help them. Then you had the Mormons involved in the insurrection. You got a whole ton of Mormons believing the lie, the big lie. You have Mormons who were part of the anti-mask movement to murder other people. I have my free agency not to wear a mask and infect other people so that they die. And then you get people saying that Black Lives Matter don't have a claim to protest police brutality as the police brutalize them in their protests. I mean, should I keep going? I mean, the church is using Mormons who still blindly believe the church leaders and still blindly follow them. I mean, this is past feeling that you cannot see the crime committed. And this is the crime committed against Mormons. They don't see it. Oh, it's okay that the church becomes filthy rich off of our tithing money, as the church demands that Mormons be self-reliant, just like they are, having taken Mormons' tithing and become filthy rich off of it. Mormons don't see it. I mean, dear God. What does it take, Mormons? I mean, you guys get in trouble, and the church gets away with it. You know? Dear God. I mean, how many Mormons gave up 10% of their relief from the government? We had the 1,200, then 600, then 1,400, was it? You know? 3,200, if my math is right. And so $320. How many Mormons gave the church $320? That's a crime. Remember the FLDS church? Got busted not for polygamy. I don't know why not polygamy. Oh, right, the church had them drop the Edmunds-Tucker Act. And so the government didn't have anything for polygamy anymore. There's a bigamy law, but as long as they don't have an official documentation in the courts, there's nothing wrong with it. No. So yeah, they got caught for SNAP fraud violations. That's government-funded money for food for needy families. And the wives were giving it to the bishops, and then the bishops would divide it up among the families, making sure that he got taken care of and ate well, where didn't get passed on down the line too well. But yeah, the FLDS church still believes Warren Jeffs is their true prophet, who's being wrongfully imprisoned, despite the atrocious photos of him kissing that little 14-year-old, his new wife. I mean, Mormons can see that that's wrong, as long as it's the others, and they don't see it in themselves. They don't see it in the church, because you have purposely changed every definition and meaning and interpretation and action so that it's not a crime if the church does it, or if you do it. So, yeah, past feeling. You fulfilled latter-day prophecy, Mormons. Good job. The only problem is that destruction's coming. Because when you're ripe for destruction, ta-da! So yeah, you've cast me out of YouTube, so that means you're ripe for destruction. Uh-oh.